Entering the next level. Entering the next level. Entering the next level. Entering the next level. Outer space. Outer space. Back from outer space. Outer space. Entering the next level.
Well, hello everybody.
Entering the next level. Entering the next level.
Oh, hello everybody, and very good evening to you all here. The show was actually due to start at 9 o'clock, but of course, yeah, let's turn the music down a little bit, or down a notch actually. But yeah, welcome along to the community news with Nick C, episode number 17. And of course, yes, breaking right now, we will have some days out of Norfolk and Suffolk coming up in the show here. So please brace yourself here. The show will last around about an hour or so, just to let everyone know. And yeah, of course, I introduced Giuliani Buzz Buzz at the Great Yarmouth Minster, which is a fantastic organ. It's actually linked up to the Hamptwork, which of course is actually Peterborough Cathedral. And yeah, that is because the organ that they're using currently at the moment, which is an electronic organ, they're using that in place of the pipe organ, which of course they're raising funds for. So if anybody wants to donate to the organ of Great Yarmouth Minster, as in Minster, then of course feel free to let them know that you'd like to donate to get the organ of the pipe world back to its restoration sort of phase. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. So we'll be talking about other things as well. We'll be doing the word for today. If anybody, by the way, wants to actually be a guest on the show, like I always ask, then feel free to get in touch with the actual show this evening. So the show is, of course, a community show, and it's a little bit later than usual because of the technical difficulties that we seem to be having. Not having. I'm trying to get my wording right here. And yeah, basically, we'll do some word for today, and we will definitely play you the Great Yarmouth Minster with Giuliani Buzz Buzz very shortly. So yeah, let's have a look at first of all. First of all, we'll look at some great days out in Norfolk and Suffolk, which is the 2025 edition. So yeah, let's brace yourself for that. So here we go then. Join us in just a few shakes. Okay, we're back here, and it's time now to go straight into the video in question. So let's, of course, go back to it right now. And here we go. And let's get it to the right part of the video here.
Julian's got some more puffs there. So how he's going to eat all of those? They're all like corns, like popcorn. What flavour you got?
Okay, just to let you know, of course, I'm actually in room number 12 of the George Hotel, and I introduced Giuliani Buzzbuzz.
And you threw one to a bird,
Julian, didn't you? So a great yellow laughing.
The bird couldn't eat it properly, or eat it properly. But anyway, never mind about that. Talking about Giuliani buzzing, I'm now going to go straight to Giuliani Buzz actually, and he's from the Nice and Relaxing Show on YouTube and on Touring With Us. We're going to go and showcase some of his beautiful music and sit back and enjoy. Watch this.
Okay, we are now going to go back onto me now, and yeah, some really, really fascinating kind of music there. I'm not quite sure what the name of that is because Giuliani Buzz Buzz will actually know a little bit more about me because it's not really my actual department. But of course, yeah, it's a bit like, of course, a department in a hospital or something, or just a department in a factory or something like that. Just using that as an example there. So, yeah, I would say it was quite fascinating to hear that. And that actually came from, of course, Thursday, the 22nd of August, 2024, that long ago. But yeah, welcome along to the channel here. If you are just switching on here, massive hello to you. This is the show that is called Community News. We are later than usual. Normally we're about 7 o'clock, but of course today we went on at about 9 o'clock. But yeah, we hope to be able to do these kind of shows every Sunday and Monday, as in Mondays, because it's a sort of calm down sort of 2 days to be able to do it. So yeah, that is the thing. Unless of course we've got an emergency show that we'd like to add during the week, which of course that is a different scenario. We will be away next week, so we're not probably able to do the Monday show. So Monday will be a sort of no at the moment because we are traveling away. So we'll have to do that the following week, which of course we hope to return after next week, all being well, because we head out on the 14th and come back on the 19th of September. So yeah, lots to look forward to in the meantime. So we might do an extra show instead of the Monday edition, but we hope to be back on Sunday at 7 o'clock, the usual time, depending on all circumstances. But like I say, it's very fascinating that we are here. And please do spread the word about this channel here. The show is actually supported by you, and of course we do have a merchandise. Should you want to support us by purchasing your very own Touring with Nixie mug, which is actually available on the eBay account, and of course, first come, first serve, because we've only got one left at the moment, you know, and of course, yes, I would say we've got more things like that coming very soon, so watch this space. If you're watching on replay, we massively welcome you, and of course, yes, do get in touch with us for show feedback, and for anybody who'd like to be a guest, preferably 18 plus, and of course, preferably we have to get to know you or something like that, and perhaps we meet in person. Perhaps, of course, we will, of course, get to know you somehow. But yeah, it's time now to talk you through, of course, what's happening in the Great Days Out in Norfolk and Suffolk. This is the 2025 edition here. Best days out in Beccles, canoe, kayak, and paddleboard hire. Escape from the madding crowd in some of the quietest, beautiful, and most idyllic parts of the Broads with the Canoe Man. The UK, as in UK's biggest, best provider of canoes, kayaks, and paddleboards for hire, April to October 2025. Definitely well worth watching out for, and of course, definitely worth going out to Beccles just for that. I've been to the actual Beccles itself for a Spoons Hotel visit overnight, and I do hope to upload it on to the actual the page of which is called, of course, the YouTube channel. So I do hope to upload it on our channel soon. I've got them in the past, and you know, I would like to showcase them. And you can also swim and have fun at the Beccles Lido, Lido, and of course the Big Dog ferry trips as well. First of all, the swim and fun at Beccles Lido, perfect for a swim and family fun at Beccles Lido. 30 meters of outdoor heated pool, springboard, and giant inflatable, heated toddler and paddle pools, children's adventure play areas, lane swimming, and family fun sessions, full disabled access, and underwater lights. Open all year round. And of course, you can find out more information at beckelslido.com with the www next to it. The Big Dog Ferry Trips is a relaxing 3-mile boat journey along the River Waveney. A perfect opportunity to enjoy the Broads itself. Regular passenger ferry service between Beccles, Lido and Gelston Locks in a pub. So that's Gelston Locks in pub. And stay on board for a round trip. Disembark to enjoy a meal, drink, or music in Gelston, or take a one-way ticket and walk back on delightful footpaths. That's in Beccles, that is. And to find out more, www.bigferry or bigdogferry.co.uk. So yeah, www.bigdogferry.co.uk. Sorry if the captions went wrong there. So yeah, best days out in Beccles. Sorry, I can't even get my wording right. It is Monday evening. .co.uk. So anyway, I might even change it to middle of the week. I don't know. I have to wait and see, or maybe on a Thursday night. There is a day boat hire for £22 an hour, and that takes place in the Broads National Park. And you have to book online for that one at broadstours.co.uk to find out a little bit more about that. That's Broad Tours, the Bridge, Wroxham, NR128RX. And the number to ring for more information is 01603 967 645. 01603 967 645 for the information there. And the river trips in the Broads National Park is a relaxed and unwinded kind of thing on one of the river trips, and discover stunning scenery and wildlife around every bend as you listen to their experienced skippers' live commentary. And the river trip tickets are from £16 per adult. So make sure you check out the Broad Tours. Okay, of course, let's check out Holtnum, which is, of course, a place that you could visit. Where else will you discover an iconic, stately home, a beautiful walled garden, cycle hire, ropes course, cafes, shopping, acres of historic parkland, an exciting range of events, beach, Holtnum National Nature Reserve, Pinewoods Holiday Park, and the Victoria Hotel and Restaurant. One day is never enough. Holcombe.co.uk for more information. Okay, and the Camel Park Oasis is the only camel park. A great day out for the family. Of course, inquisitive meerkats, ring-tailed llamas, walks, and a gift shop and refreshments. Land trade ride, play areas, mini golf and pedal go-karts and mini maze, and much more. And that's the Orchard Farm, Linstead, Halesworth, IP 19ODT. And the telephone number to ring them for more information is 07836 734 748. That's 07836 734 748. And open Saturday the 5th of April to Sunday the 2nd of November 2025, and daily between 10 a.m. as in 10:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. And Hearst's Farm Shop and Cafe, Dobbs and or Dobbs and Crabs actually, and yeah, that's the Eat Well Shop, fresh and sport local. Great food from our family farm and across East Anglia for you to enjoy. Hurst Farm Shop and Cafe, Mill Farm, North Road, Ormsby, NR 29 3LE. Call 019 01493 731980 and open daily 9 a.m. till 4:30 p.m. Please check the website for weekend and winter hours. That's Hurst Farm Shop and Cafe.co.uk. Also, there's fun at the park here, play park at Farm Animals, games and inflatables, crazy croquet and cafe and go-karts, barrel train and more. Of course, hurstfamilyfunpark.co.uk to check out that. And as I say, open till 4 p.m. and open at 10 a.m. on the above dates, and find us on Yarmouth Road, Hensby, NR 29 4NL. That's Hurst Family Fun Park.co.uk. So there's a different section, but of course still under the same sort of name there. And the QR code is just about there, of course, to find out a little bit more information. And you've got, of course, discounts if you want to go to Amazona Zoo, Bressingham Steam Train and Gardens. That's Steam and Gardens, Broad Tours and the Bure Valley Railway and the Carmel Park Oasis and the City of Norwich Aviation Museum and the Great Yarmouth Racecourse and Hursty Family Fun Park and the Hoverton Hall Gardens, Jimmy's Farm and Wildlife Park and Kepwell Hall. Of course, you can get free hot and cold drink there. One free drink for up to 4 paying people. Bring this voucher on the day. Cannot use or be used in any other offer, as in conjunction with any other offer. Right, okay. Is there anything else you need to know? Right, okay. These are the lists of things before we go to a further edition of Giuliani Buzz Bars at Great Yarmouth Minster, which of course came from 2024. We'll do that in just a moment, and of course, plan your great days out in Norfolk and Suffolk. Museums at the Shoebox Experience, Lynn Museum, Food Museum, and the Bertram Windmill, Gresson Hall Farm and Workhouse, Cromer Museum, and the City of Norwich Aviation Museum, Norwich Castle Museum of Norwich, Strangers Hall in Norwich, and Time and Tide. That's based in Great Yarmouth, and of course, Elizabethan House and the Toll House Gold, Great Yarmouth, and the Ancient House. And for animals, wildlife, and zoos, Sea Life and Hunstanton, and as in Pensthorpe Natural Park, the Bug Park, the Amazona Zoo, and the Red Wings Horse Sanctuary, Thrigby Hall Wildlife Gardens, Sea Life of Great Yarmouth, and Camel Park of Oasis, Jimmy's Farm and Wildlife Park, and Family Fun, and that is FUN, and theme parks. Holcombe, Langham Glass, Raw, as in ROARR, Roxham Miniature Worlds, Roxham Barns, Bewilderwood, Hursty's Family Farm and Farm Shop, Pleasurewood Hills, Beccles Lido, LIDO, Southwold Maze and Railways and Steam Attractions, Thursford, Norfolk, as in Norfolk Railway, Bure Valley Railway, Bressingham Steam and Gardens, and Heritage and Stately Home and Gardens. That's Stately Homes and Gardens, and that's Hoverton Hall Gardens. Is it pronounced right? Hoverton Hall Gardens, yeah, probably. And Fairhaven, Woodland, and Water Garden, and Kentwell Hall. And finally, the boat trips. Broad Tours, and Big Dog Ferry, the Canoe Man, and horse racing, Great Yarmouth Race Course. If you're interested in that, there is a map in this book here of East Anglia if anyone is interested. Right, okay, we're going to leave it at that on the note of out and about, but we'll come back in just a little bit here whilst we have listened to a little bit of Giuliani Buzz Buzz in the next section here from Thursday, the 22nd of August 2024. Can you believe it? I was in Great Yarmouth in August 2024. I didn't go this year, but of course, not in August anyway, not under my birthday time. But yeah, after we've heard a little bit of the organ here, we'll do the word for today and we'll talk about Abbey Gardens in Bury St Edmunds. Watch this first. Oh, at least it let me know that the mic was muted there. So welcome back here with some nice and chilled music here whilst you are being filled with some really relaxing kind of feeling in this show, which is what this show is pretty much a little bit about. But yeah, of course, welcome to the community news with Nick C. And of course, it is episode number 17. So hopefully, we'll be going on to episode 18 later on in the week, maybe in for the actual Monday edition, which of course we're not able to do because we are on our travels. But of course, yes, this is quite an interesting read here. I think I read this on a video here. If you're watching on replay, we really do kind of appreciate you listening once again, because I'm going to say it to you a little bit more clearer for you. Right, okay, this is from David Leherux of UCB Chief Executive, which is the United Christian Broadcasters based in Stoke-on-Trent. So, of course, what is your idea of peace? Perhaps you imagine taking a countryside walk. Perhaps you might find peace in keeping your finances and other areas of your life in order. Or maybe it's in your church that you feel at peace. And there's nothing wrong with finding some satisfaction in these things we're talking about, and we can do and we can be thankful for them, but they are not guaranteed to last. A change in our location, an unexpected job loss, or a crisis in our church community can steal your peace in a moment. If these are our only sources of peace, we are completely dependent on changeable external conditions. But there is something better. This is what God offers to every one of us. The peace of God, which transcends all understanding, will guard your hearts and your minds in Jesus Christ. Yep, your hearts and minds in Christ Jesus. That's the exact words there. When we are in a relationship with God, He gives us an inner peace that we can't get from any other source. His presence surrounds us and shields our hearts from the turmoil of the world around us. Just as the disciples discovered when they were sailing through a storm with Jesus. Life doesn't become easy and trouble-free, but God's peace ensures due hope and joy are firmly anchored. As you read through your copy of the UCB Word for Today, which is United Christian Broadcasters, he prays, of course, that's David Leherux, prays that God's voice speaks to you through every page, connecting you with and filling your heart and mind with His peace, which transcends all understanding. Our world is filled with unrest and trouble. May your heart be filled with God's love and peace. Every blessing, and it's signed by David Leherux, UCB Chief Executive. It's all in this book here, and of course it's on the, I would say, the version of autumn 2025, August, September, and October. How fascinating is that? And of course, what I'm going to do is all right, okay. Apologise about background noise. Yeah, let's have a look at this. You can hear my actual voice at the same time here. let's do another bit of music here. Right. Okay. Take responsibility for your life is the first subject that we're going to be talking about on the UCB word for today. We'll read one or two that we wouldn't normally read normally, but of course we do it on the show as well, as it's part of community news. Lots of other community news does, of course, come in a localized form here, and I've just literally updated the Touring Minute C page. So if you're interested in having a look at the About section, which actually I can't update on the mobile version, which is a little bit unfortunate. But let's, of course, go to this segment here. Take responsibility for your life. And let's, of course, make this come to the stage as well. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but yeah. I can't put two out at once. So, yeah, I'll just carry on with it. Okay. Do you want to get well? What an amazing question that Jesus asked this paralyzed man. Do you want to get well? Who wouldn't? You might be surprised. Kate Arthur actually, tells a beggar one day on the street in an old city of Jerusalem. As he sat begging, his trouser leg was pulled up to reveal his terrible sores. She writes, my nurse's heart brought my feet to a halt. I wanted to bend down and shield the open wound from the dust. It should be washed, medicated, and dressed by someone who cared. My friend gently took me by my elbow and propelled me towards our destination. I was a tourist and did not know about these things. She then proceeded to tell me that this man did not wish to be made well. He made his living from his wound. As I looked back, I caught one last glimpse of someone who was less than what he could have been. The man was lying helpless on a cot by the pool called Bethesda and had been there for about 38 years. And question, how long does it take before a problem becomes a way of life? And Jesus said to them, get up and walk. The inference being that it is time to get up and go to work, to become a parent to your children, a partner to your husband or wife, a contributor to your community, a solution to someone else's problem. It's time to take responsibility for your life. Are you letting your past or present circumstances keep you stuck and stop you from moving forward? If Jesus asked you, do you want to get well emotionally, physically, and spiritually? What would your answer be? Today, let Jesus make you whole. Right, we'll go on to the next one very, very quickly, and we'll change the music as well. Some people are sort of chilling in the background here. So, finding your life's purpose. I have appeared to you for this purpose, to make you a minister and a witness. In baseball, the catcher tries to distract the batter. On one occasion, when Yogi Berra was behind the plate, Hank Aaron came up to bat. Yogi started in. Hank You've got the writing on the bat in the wrong place. The word should be facing you. Yogi kept going. You better check it. Hank didn't say a word. On the next pitch, Hank hit the ball over the centre field fence. He rounded the bases, stepped on home plate, looked at Yogi Berra and said, "I didn't come here to read. I came to win. It's vital to know why you are here and not to let anyone talk you out of your calling or purpose." In the world today, people say they are trying to find themselves. Such a search is pointless. As one pastor states, if you don't know who you are, how do you know what to look for? And how do you know when you have found it, since you don't know what you are looking for? Toasters don't find themselves. A toaster just has to do what a manufacturer had in mind. Paul had a supernatural encounter on the Damascus road when Christ said to him, "I have appeared to you for this purpose, to make you a minister and witness both of the things which you have seen and of the things which I will yet reveal to you." To discover your life's purpose, you must start with God as your reference point. He made you, He redeemed you, He has a plan for your life, and He will reveal it to you. This is a very interesting one that I will leave you with tonight before we go back to Great Young Minister just a little bit. And we'll talk to you before we go to the Great Young Minister about the Discovering Abbey Gardens. We'll talk you through that before we go back to the Great Young Minister. August thing with Giuliani Buzz. So, yeah, don't rush into this relationship. You made a woman and brought her to a man. Patience is a difficult skill to practice when it comes to relationships. This is particularly so when you feel lonely, empty, and incomplete. Whatever happens, you can jump the gun and make a choice based on your limited perspective rather than the larger picture that would emerge if only you had sought more information and waited patiently. To keep you from making a mistake that can negatively impact the rest of your life, here are 3 important steps you should take when it comes to forming a relationship. 1, must ask the right questions, be cautious, inquisitive, and hungry for all pieces of the puzzle. Always ask. And number 2, you must find the answer to those questions. Sift through the surface impression of what you see in here, and you'll soon see the clearer picture emerging. The picture must harmonise with 2 things. A, your participation in this particular relationship, and letter B, God, as in God's will and purpose for your life. So God's will and purpose for your life. Not purpose. So A is your participation in this particular relationship, and B, God's will and purpose for your life. And number 3, must act when the time is right and know that you are acting on the best and most comprehensive information available. If that doesn't work out, you can relax in the knowledge that you did everything possible to make a wise decision. Statistically, about half of all marriages today end in divorce. But if you take these 3 steps, you could finish up in the right half. And even if the relationship fails, you can carry into the next relationship the wisdom gleaned from the last one. He made a woman and brought her to the man. God knows just what you need, so seek his guidance. All right, okay, that's the end of the 3 word for today's, because I did an extra one here, which I didn't do on Sunday, which I forgot to do actually. Okay, let's of course wind things down here. Thank you very much indeed for that, and of course we'll discover Abbey Gardens now. Of course, discover internationally acclaimed Abbey Gardens in the centre of the historic Netherlands with its eye-catching floral displays, Abbey ruins, and beautiful walks. So, of course, welcome to Abbey Gardens. Of course, it says in this leaflet here, and of course, the internationally acclaimed Abbey Gardens in the centre, as I said, of the historic Netherlands attracts hundreds and thousands of visitors each year, drawn by superlative floral displays and historic setting and excellent facilities. The 6.5 hectare, approximately 6-acre public park is part of the precinct of the former Abbey of St Edmund. The combination of floral excellence, formal bedding schemes, and the ruins of Abbey make the gardens a very special place to visit. So that's quite interesting. The site is meticulously maintained and has been rewarded numerous accolades over the years. Approximately 20,000 plants are bedded out in the spring for the summer display, and 12,000 plants and 20,000 bulbs are planted each autumn for the spring display. The Abbey Gardens itself has features of interest of a wide range of visitors, including the ancient ruins, the aviary, tennis courts, a water garden, a rose garden, a sensory garden, a pergola, and a children's play area, and a section of the River Lark, an information point, including plant and gift shop, a refreshment kiosk, and public toilets. Abbey Gardens in Netherlands is much loved by local and both the many tourists who visit them throughout the whole year. They are a stunning venue for many and varied cultural events which take place in actually the historic town of Netherlands. Here at Netherlands on the right, as you pass through the Abbey Gate, is the world's first internet bench installed in 2001 by Microsoft. The computer giant chose the town for the pilot scheme from hundreds of applications made by the local authorities around the UK. So a little bit about the history of Abbey Gardens in Netherlands then. The award-winning park is a part of a former Benedictine Abbey of St Edmund, one of the most powerful abbeys in the medieval England. The Abbey Gardens was created in 1831 by Nathaniel Hodgson. Originally, it was a botanic garden laid out in the same style as the Royal Botanic Gardens in Brussels. In 1936, the original layout of the flower beds in concentric circles was replaced by the 64 island beds, which together in illuminations formed part of the coronation celebrations for George I in 1937. The Abbey Gardens sundial fountain, which was of course gifted to the people of Bury St Edmunds in 1871. That's a sundial fountain which was gifted to the people of Bury St Edmunds by the 3rd Marquess of Bristol. The Victorian drinking fountain with sundial cube on top is an extremely early example, quite possibly the earliest in the country, of a sundial that allowed the town clocks to be set to Greenwich Mean Time, GMT, rather than local time. So let's talk about the Gardens Cafe, which is Graham's Cafe, which is a kiosk situated within the Abbey Gardens itself in Bury St Edmunds. The cafe provides refreshments. That includes hot drinks, cakes, and a selection of treats to have your own picnic within the gardens with. Tea and coffee is fair trade, and there is also a selection of healthy snacks available, as well as ice creams, of course. But is that healthy? That is the question. Kiosk opening times vary as follows, but are always weather dependent and subject to change. Of course, these are the times here. January closed, and February half-time only from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. March weekends only from 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. And of course, April and May weekdays from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. and weekends 11 a.m. till 5 p.m. And June weekdays from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. and weekends 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. And July and August from 10 a.m. till 5 p.m. daily, and September 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. daily, and October 11 a.m. till 3 p.m. daily, up to and including October school half-term break and closed thereafter, and November and December is closed for the cafe, unfortunately. So the opening times of the Abbey Gardens in Bury St Edmunds is a must-know about here, which is summer April to August on Monday to Saturday, 7:30 a.m. till 8 p.m. and Sunday and bank holidays 9 a.m. till 8 p.m. and mid-season September and March on Monday to Saturday 7:30 till 6 p.m. and Sunday and bank holidays 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. and winter October to February it is Monday to Saturday 7:30 a.m. till 5 p.m. and Sunday and bank holidays 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And how to find the Abbey Gardens itself is Abbey Gardens, Mustoe Street, Bury St Edmunds, Suffolk IP 331X. Abbey Gardens can be found in the heart of Bury St Edmunds, in East Anglia, next to St Edmundsbury Cathedral and at the bottom of Abbygate Street. Bury St Edmunds railway station is about 0.6 miles, which is 0.96 kilometres away. Okay, and that is Bury St Edmunds bus station, which is, of course, about a mile, which is 1.6 kilometres. By the way, of course, I did a walk around Bury St Edmunds recently, and there is a video to follow on the channel. Well, actually, we played it on yesterday's show, and also it's on the channel as well in full, so you can check that out if you wish. And parking, there is a parking across the Abbey Gardens on Angel Hill, but spaces are limited and the car park can be often full at peak times. You'll find a large car park at Ram Meadows off Cotton Lane, which is IP 331XP, which has at least 794 spaces. This car park is a 2-minute walk from the gardens. Please refer to the council's web page for the current car parking charges, which is westsuffolk.gov.uk/parking. And contact the Abbey Gardens for more information. 01284 757 490. 01284 757 490. And email parks@westsuffolk.gov.uk. And of course, www.whatsonwestsuffolk.co.uk/parks/Abbey-Gardens/. And you can check the Abbey Gardens itself on Facebook, looking up Abbey Gardens, Bury St Edmunds. all supported by the West Suffolk Council. So yeah, of course, there's lots of different sort of information in this leaflet that I've got in front of me right now. Okay, in reverse order that you're reading it right now. But what I will say is this: do check it out, especially in nice weather times. But even in the winter, you could get underneath the shade and of course not worry too much about the wet, but you need to get to that section to be able to do that. That's next to it and opposite the River Lark. Check out the videos for more information. I did an 8K walk, and of course there's highlights of that where I was walking towards the BP garage, which of course offers you a card and £2.50 on them if you want to pick up one from the BP garage. Right, okay, of course, it's just over the hour here. I'm going to have to cut this show a little bit short. I'm going to leave you with, of course, the Great Yarmouth Minster organ from Giuliani Buzz Buzz, which dates from Thursday, the 22nd of August, 2024. Please do enjoy this because it's definitely well worth it. From myself, Nick C, do have yourself a great rest of the evening, wherever you may be. And sorry we came on a little bit later. It's because of the technical difficulties that we had. So we were slightly on the late side, 17 minutes late. So yeah, we do apologise about that. But yeah, let's hand it over to Giuliani Buzz Buzz, which actually, of course, performed on the organ and the camera work by Nick C. Oh yeah, that's myself. We were under the name of Touring with Us then, and we still are, but it's just called Touring with Nick C. All right, thank you very much for tuning in, and do watch these videos as and when you can. Thank you so much for watching that. Giuliani Buzz Buzz, you're amazing.
This is a made-up piece.